Yeah, that, and I'm hoping that it all works. So I just hope that you can see me, you can hear me, and we are ready um, uh, to go. I'm continuing my conversation today with you on everyday immortality, and today I'm going to talk about subtle intention and shifting reality. And this is part of a continuing series on how we actually construct our experience of everyday reality. So today I want to talk about subtle intention and shifting reality. Before I start, I just want to reinforce that raw experience is consciousness, fundamental consciousness, knowing itself as perceptions, as sensations, as images, as feelings, and as thoughts. And the source of all of that, the source of thought, the source of perception, the source of imagination, the source of feeling, the source of any experience you can think of, the source of that, where it is experienced, where it is generated, and what it is made out of is consciousness or awareness. So consciousness knows itself as the subject of experience and all the objects of experience. Once again, consciousness knows itself as this subject of experience, this changing subject that right now is Deepak Chopra, and all the objects of experience, including this microphone, those paintings, the furniture, your feedback, all your notes, all your responses. Consciousness knows itself as this experience. But this experience in its fundamental form is what? Is sound. You're hearing sound. Is what? Colors, shapes, and forms. Is what? Textures, sensations, smell, taste. Okay, that's raw experience. The alphabet of experience, just like the alphabet is being used to give you information right now. And the information right now, the alphabet says meta-human, unleashing your infinite potential, etc., etc. But the alphabet itself is the first level of experience, M-E-T-A. Okay, this is the alphabet that is contained in this book as information and also my thoughts. Localized in this book as the alphabet. Like that, the alphabet of all experience is sensations, sense perceptions, images, feelings, thoughts. That's it. The rest is a story. So what's the story right now? A book, a microphone, a hand, a body, glasses, paintings. Those stories are constructs created by the alphabet, which is SIFT, sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. Those experiences, this experience, this experience, this experience, this experience, that experience, these are all constructs or stories with the raw material of experience, which is sensations, images, feelings, thoughts. So as soon as you say microphone, then a combination of sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts constructs this experience, microphone. This is a construction. This is a construction. This is a construction. And the construction is a story given a name, hand, microphone, body, book. Actually, if you look at this book, it's the story of the universe. Why? Why do I say that? Well, this book, the body of this book is made of paper. Where did the paper come from? From a tree. Where did the tree come from? Well, from a seed. What is that seed? Genetic information. But genetic information as part of the ecosystem of genetic information in the soil. And all the genetic information in the soil is a symbolic expression of the web of energy and information that ultimately resulted in a tree from which this paper came. So this book, the body of this book, is everything. It's trees and seeds and exchange of information with other seeds and rainbows and sunshine and earth and water and wind and air and the infinite void and the singularity and the Big Bang and force fields and atoms and particles and possibility waves in the singularity of creation. This is the whole universe symbolically represented as the book. But the book also has a mind. The mind is those squiggles, the alphabet, that have been woven into the story, the explanation of experience. So what is this? This is the body-mind, symbolically, of the total universe. And by the way, you could say the same thing about any object. If you trace it to its source, this is the total universe. This microphone. What's it made of? Atoms and particles, carbon and hydrogen and oxygen and nitrogen. Where did they come from? The crucible of burning stars. Where did those come from? Originally from the Big Bang. What was prior to the Big Bang? Infinite possibilities, singularity, no space, no time, no energy, no information, just possibilities. And now a microphone. This is the universe as a microphone. You are the universe as a shifting, changing body-mind. And so is everything else. When you actually understand that, you see that that which we call the divine source is not difficult to find. It's impossible to avoid. Wherever you go, there it is. God in disguise. God as a microphone. God as a book. God as a hat. God as everything there is. There is nothing other than the divine modifying itself, symbolically representing itself as that, this. That's all there is. When you totally see that, understand that, feel that, know that, imagine that, experience that, you are in divine consciousness. And that has its own biology. That has its own sensations, its own images, its own feelings, its own thoughts, its own representations, its own symbolic representations. And then, by feeling the body, you can feel the universe manifesting as the alphabet of existence, which is sensations, perceptions, images, feelings, thoughts. And then on top of that, we write the story. We write the biological story, the story from physics, mathematics, whatever. Who writes the story? We write the story. What is the story? It's the story of existence. And what is existence? Consciousness knowing itself as this sensation, this image, this feeling, this thought, this perception given a construct, the story. This is how you're constructing the entire universe. So now let me give you a little way to actually actualize the story. A way to actualize the story. Just feel your body right now. Okay, and what you're feeling is sensations. Look here, there, and what you're experiencing is forms, colors, shapes. Form, color, shape is the same thing. Touch something hard. What you're experiencing is hardness. The word solidity is a construct based on the experience, hardness. Touch the air and a softer sensation. Very subtle, okay? Think a thought, another sensation, very subtle. As soon as you think it, goes away. Imagine a rainbow, subtle sensation, okay? And as soon as you think it, it goes away because then you imagine something else. As soon as you have a thought, makes it necessary for you to have another thought. As soon as you have a feeling, it makes it necessary to have another feeling. Think of someone love. Just say, I love so-and-so, a name. whatever that is. Now, as soon as you say that, there's an image, there's a feeling, there's an emotion, there's another thought, and there's an experience, there's a desire, there's a story. And that I love so and so is a story which is connected to infinite other stories, all of love. So just that one sentence, I love my significant other, I love my child, I love my mother, I love my father, I love the world, I love the universe, I love the book, I love the microphone. All those are stories entangled with all other stories, and in their raw form, sensations, images, feelings, thoughts. That's it. Given a story. So what's your story? What's your backstory? Okay, when were you really conceived? When a sperm met an ovum? Well, that was one conception. There was another conception before that, the experience of love and intimacy. There was another conception before that, the generation of sensations, images, feelings, thoughts. There was another conception before that, the construction of a story around sensations, perceptions, images, feelings, and thoughts. And there was something else before that, just the experience of consciousness knowing itself in those modes: sound, taste, touch, smell, fragrance, thought, feeling, emotion. So you see, in every moment we are constructing existence or the experience of existence. Now, the best way to construct this is to settle into being at the most fundamental level, even prior to any sensation, image, feeling, or thought, even prior to that. Because the sensation, image, feeling, or thought is consciousness knowing itself as that experience. And then all these other experiences, sensations, images, feelings, and thought, are entangled with each other. They're totally entangled with each other. As soon as you have one, you have the others. One influences all the others because they're entangled, they're inseparable, they're non-locally correlated, they are coinciding, they are synchronistic. At what level? At the level of being, at the level of source. So now you settle into this source, you allow the proliferation of uncertainty because that's all that's happening. You can't predict the next sensation, the next thought, the next feeling, the next emotion, the next image. So you settle into this being where all these sensations, images, feelings, thoughts are popping up and popping out. But you, as the presence of being, are present in every snapshot of that experience, whether it's a sensation, image, feeling, or thought. And then you are not only present, you give continuity by your presence to these on-off switches. These switches are in consciousness, in the brain, at epigenetic levels, genetic levels. So what is really happening what is really happening right now is consciousness is going on and off. And there are switches at every level. The consciousness itself switches on and off between every thought, between every perception, between every idea, between every image, between every feeling. Consciousness is switching on and off. The action is in the off, where the story is being recycled through karma, memory, desire, etc. That, in a way, is a prison because it's the same story repeating itself. And if the story didn't work in the past, it won't work in the future itself. How to escape that prison of karma is to settle into this, allow the proliferation of uncertainty, and introduce a subtle intention. Whatever that intention is. Actually, the intention should always be about a quality of awareness. So, if you want a lot of money, then the intention is not, I want a lot of money. That's a symbolic representation. Okay, the intention is I want a state of awareness that's called abundance. I want a state of awareness that's called affluence. So the more we shift to qualities of awareness and less into the symbolic representations of those qualities of awareness, the more subtle the intention is, the more you allow the proliferation of uncertainty and unpredictability, the more you detach from it, and the more you let intention organize its own fulfillment through non-local correlation, through qualities of awareness, the more likely that intention will actualize into experience. And that is what we call everyday reality. So it's very basic. The 8 limbs of yoga are just that. So we begin with niyama and yama, rules of personal and social conduct, or rules of personal and social intelligence. First 2. And the third is actually pranayama, breathing that regulates experience. When you're agitated, your breathing is agitated. When you're relaxed, your breathing is deep and slow. When you transcend, breathing almost suspends itself and disappears. So that would be the third limb, pranayama. Yogasana, mind-body coordination. 4th, okay, pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses. 5th, dharana, subtle intention. Next, dhyan, meditation. And finally, samadhi, transcendence. But now reverse the other. Transcend, introduce subtle intention, and go back all the way. We can go back all the way. So that would be called bottom-up approach. And you can start with samadhi and go the other way. Top-down approach, actually they're complementarities. All you need is this sequential unfoldment to get to the source of thought, the source of perception, the source of every experience. Thought, feeling, image, all of that is consciousness modulating itself as the raw material, the alphabet of experience that is then constructed into a story that is called mind, body, universe. The story is changing, mind is changing, the body is changing, the experience of the world is changing, but that which is the storyteller is always the witnessing awareness. And at some point, even that drops. All there is pure consciousness, which is infinite possibilities, infinite uncertainty, infinite creativity, infinite correlation, infinite power of attention, infinite power of intention. So that's how we manifest every experience in every moment of our lives. Now ask yourself, what is the biggest story? And the biggest story comes from asking, who I am? Who am I? We go deep, deep, deep. You're the infinite being with a selective memory and a selective imagination and a selective attachment to certain experiences. That what makes you experience your finite being, but actually you're the infinite being. What do I want? I want to know myself in my glory as the infinite being. What is my purpose? To wake up. To wake up. To not be bamboozled by every story and every stranger and their opinion on the street. Finally, what am I grateful for? I am grateful that I exist and the awareness that I exist. I don't take existence for granted. If you take existence for granted, then you'll panic right now with the pandemic because you took existence for granted. But if you did not take existence for granted, if you figured out the nature of existence and the experience of existence and the construction of the experience of existence, then you know that existence is invincible. It is unstoppable. It is self-regulating. It is the microbiome of the genetic information recycling itself, evolving, creating, expressing itself with maximum diversity, maximum fulfillment. Fulfillment means maximum knowledge, maximum diversity of experience, maximum imagination, and the creation of the story that you want to conceive, construct, exist in, and become. To be human is to have a story. So today, let's just end with that. What's your story? Who are you? What do you want? What's your purpose? What are you grateful for? And then focus on awareness and the qualities of awareness. So I don't want, the most athletic body. I want a joyful, energetic body. That's a quality of awareness. Okay. I want a loving, compassionate heart. That's a quality of awareness. I want a reflective, alert, quiet, imaginative, creative mind. That's a quality of awareness. I want lightness of being and healing. That is awareness itself. So we focus on awareness, the awareness of awareness, the awareness of experience, and the knowing of experience. And we know that's all there is. Awareness is knowing itself as me and the other. Awareness knowing itself as the subject and the objects. Awareness experiencing itself as friend and enemy. Awareness experiencing itself as sacred and profane. Awareness experiencing itself as diabolical and divine. Awareness explaining itself as pleasure and pain. Awareness experiencing itself as birth and death. Awareness experiencing itself as space and time. Awareness experiencing itself as energy and information. Awareness experiencing itself as the actual and the potential. That's all there is. Awareness. Awareness is divine intelligence, the creative intelligence that is differentiating itself into everything. And that's who we are. Awareness, knowing itself in infinite modes of knowing and experience. There's one phrase, there's one Mahavakya that summarizes it all. Sat Chit Ananda. Sat is truth. Truth of what? Timeless existence. Chit, knowingness that differentiates into modes of knowing. Sound, touch, sight, taste, smell, thoughts, feelings, emotions, desires, instincts, drives, memories, aspirations, fears, knowingness. And third, Ananda. So Sat, Chit. Sat is truth of timeless existence. Chit is infinite knowingness and infinite modes of knowingness. Ananda, the bliss, the joy that comes from knowing that you have access to infinite modes of knowing, infinite experiences, and that you can even choose those through subtle intention. This is amazing, actually. Sat Chit Ananda. Truth, infinite knowing, infinite joy, infinite bliss. Not happiness. Happiness is always for a reason. It alternates between pleasure and pain. But true Ananda, limitless joy, comes from settling into being, subtle intention, and that's it. The journey is from here to here. Journey without distance. So I hope today worked out, and if it did, then this is going to be the format that I'm going to use every day. Okay? And I feel very delighted right now and joyful just in expressing this information, sharing it with you, and getting your feedback itself, which is amazing, because you're all giving me amazing feedback, and it's coming through as infinite love. Aham Brahmasmi, Sat Chit Ananda, Soham Tattvamasi. All going back to the source. So let's finish today, and I'll see you tomorrow, and hope everything worked today, because if it did, I'm all set. Good luck and God bless.